Once upon a time there was a little boy called Silly Billy. Silly Billy had a new picture frame. It was shiny, wooden, and slightly too big for the drawing inside, a masterpiece of Jock the Cockerel wearing a crown and declaring himself king of the coop. Billy had drawn it with great care, using every crayon except beige, which he said was too grown up. Mum had helped him pop it into the frame, and now it was time to hang it. Billy chose the living room wall, just above the radiator, so it stays warm, he explained. Mum handed him a little hammer and a nail, then gave him the look. "Only if you're careful, Billy." Billy nodded solemnly, then immediately dropped the nail down the radiator. After a brief rescue mission involving a magnet, a spoon, and Sulky the cat's tail, which was not helpful, Billy tried again. He tapped the nail in, hung the frame, stepped back, and frowned. It was Wonky. "Looks like it's had one too many," Dad chuckled, passing through with a tea towel over his shoulder. "Bit of a lean to the left." Billy adjusted it. Now it leaned right. He adjusted again. Now it looked like it was shrugging. "It's not straight." Billy wailed. "It's got a mind of its own." Mum peered over. "Maybe it's just expressing itself." Billy tried again. The frame swung like a pub sign in a gale. Sulky blinked slowly from the windowsill, unimpressed. "I think it's shy," Billy said. "It doesn't want to stand up straight in front of everyone." Dad leaned in. "Or maybe it's just hanging out." Billy groaned. "I need it proper. Like Grandad's shelves. He's got a spirit level and everything." Mum smiled. "Well, you've got spirit, Billy. Just not the level." Billy stomped off to find Grandad, muttering about rebellious rectangles and the injustice of gravity. Billy burst into Grandad's shed like a gust of wind with a mission. "Grandad! My picture's gone all wobbly." Grandad looked up from a half-built bird feeder that appeared to have a periscope. "Wobbly, eh? Sounds like it's got character." Billy held up the frame. "It won't stay straight. It's got a wonk." Grandad chuckled. "Ah, the old wonk. Tricky customer. You know, I once built a bookshelf that leaned so far left it joined a union." Billy blinked. "Did it get better?" "No," Grandad said. "It got elected." He rummaged through a drawer and pulled out a spirit level, a tape measure, and something that looked suspiciously like a biscuit tin with wires. "We'll sort it. But first, let's check its aura." Billy tilted his head. "Aura?" Grandad nodded solemnly. "Every frame has a vibe. Some are bold. Some are bashful. Some just want to hang loose." Billy frowned. "Mine's a rebel." They laid the frame on the workbench. Grandad placed the spirit level on top. The bubble darted to one side like it was late for tea. "See?" Grandad said. "It's got a lean, like your Uncle Derek after Christmas lunch." Billy giggled. "Can we fix it?" "Of course. But remember, straight isn't always best. Nature's full of curves. Rivers, rainbows, your dad's attempts at DIY." Billy nodded, solemn. "But Mum says it's about balance." Grandad smiled. "Exactly. Balance. Not perfection. Even Sulky's tail has a kink, and his still majestic." Sulky, who had followed Billy in, sneezed and knocked over a jar of screws. They adjusted the frame, added a tiny wedge of folded cardboard, and tested it again. The bubble hovered, uncertain. "Close enough," Grandad said. "Besides, a little tilt keeps life interesting. Like Gran sponge cake, never quite level, but always delicious." Billy beamed. "I'll tell Mum it's artistic." Grandad winked. "Tell her it's postmodern." Billy arrived with the frame under one arm and a biscuit in the other. Gran was elbow-deep in dough, humming something suspiciously like "I Will Survive." "Gran," Billy said, "my picture's still wonky." Gran looked up, spectacles sliding down her nose. "Wonk is just another word for whimsical, love." Billy frowned. But it's supposed to be straight. Gran wiped her hands on her apron, which bore the battle scars of baking, knitting, and possibly gardening. Straight's overrated. Look at my spice rack, it's been leaning since 1997. Adds flavor. Billy glanced at the rack. It did look like it was trying to escape. Gran took the frame and held it up. Ah, yes. A classic case of artistic rebellion. You know, your granddad once built me a shelf that tilted so much, the teapot slid into the sugar bowl. We called it afternoon chaos. Billy giggled. Did it work? Of course. We just drank faster. She placed the frame on the table and gave it a gentle tap. Sometimes, Billy, things don't sit straight because they've got a story. Like my ankle, twisted it dancing at the village fete. Never quite healed, but I won best wiggle. Billy's eyes widened. You won a prize for wiggling. Gran winked. Oh yes. And your dad was conceived shortly after. Billy blinked. What does that mean? Gran smiled sweetly. It means your dad's got rhythm. She adjusted the frame with a folded tea bag wrapper. There. Balanced. Not perfect, but charming. Billy nodded. Like your sponge cake, Gran beamed. Exactly. It sinks in the middle, but it rises in hearts. They hung the frame in Gran's hallway. It leaned slightly, but somehow looked proud. Billy sighed happily. I think it's smiling. Gran patted his head. So are you, love. That's what matters. I've tried everything, Billy declared. Spirit levels, cardboard wedges, tea bag wrappers. It still won't stay straight. Dad peered at the frame. Maybe it's protesting. Mum raised an eyebrow. Against what? Conformity, Dad said. It's a free-range frame. Gran chuckled. It's got a tilt with attitude. Billy sighed. I just wanted it to look proper. Grandad patted his shoulder. Sometimes, Billy, proper's just a setting on the washing machine. They hung the frame again. It leaned slightly, not dramatically, just enough to suggest it had opinions. Billy frowned. It's still off. Mum smiled. So are most of us. Dad added, especially after Gran's sherry trifle. Gran winked. One spoonful and you're dancing sideways. Billy looked at the frame. Jock the cockerel stared back, crown askew, beak open mid-squawk. It did look rather proud. I think it's perfect, Billy said. It's got personality. Sulky the cat padded in, sniffed the frame, and promptly sat beneath it, as if guarding its right to lean. Billy grinned. It's not straight, but it's mine. Mum hugged him. That's the spirit. Dad nodded. Besides, if everything were straight, we'd never have curves, or curly fries. Gran raised her teacup. To the tilt. Grandad raised his biscuit tin. To the wobble. Billy raised his arms. To the wonk. And with that, the frame stayed exactly as it was, slightly off, completely loved, and perfectly placed.